Welcome to clickmeproject.com.
Okay, this is our project title for the set matching measures for external cluster validity. Okay, this is our abstract for the domain of data mining. The data mining is a non-trivial extractions of previous implicit, potentially unknown and useful information from data. So here the comparing two clustering results of dataset is a challenging task in cluster analysis. Many external validity measurements have been proposed in the literatures. A good measurement should be invariant to the challenges of data sets and the cluster size and the number of clusters. Here we given an overview of the existing set matching indexes and analyze their properties. Set matching measurements are based on matching clusters from two clusterings. Here we will analyzing the data mining task with measures the three parts or three components. One is the cluster similarity and the other one is matching. The final one is the overall measurements. So these are the properties based. We will propose a new scheme for the experiments based on the synthetic data valuation to the external validity index. Here the popular external indexes are evaluated and compared when applied to the data clusterings of different data size, cluster size and the number of clusters to be processed. The experiment show that the matching measurements are clearly better than the other tested. Based on the analytical data comparisons, to introduce the new indexes called pair sets index. Okay, this is the flow diagram for the clustering data to be analyzing for the data minings. So the first one is the data set load. Here we will add different attributes based will create a data sets, and here we will using the multiple data sets using to be processed data. The file chooser using to be choosing particular records or data, and the under one the data set will be loaded into the data. The data set will be loaded and to be stored in database. Again the under process pre-process is the one of the process to be reduced or eliminate the null values. This process is to be constraint checking the constraints for here any null values is available is or not. Suppose the any value is to be null, the data is to be removed. So this called a pre-process. The again was the clustering data. Always said here we will using different attributes based to prepare the data set. The data set will be loaded and is to be stored in database. So these are the attributes based will clustering our data based on the some attributes or some properties based will clustering our data. The data clustering is mainly used for analyzing the data to be separating for the data. The again was the creating index. The index using to be similar the cluster similarity and validating the clusters data. How to validate the data to be processed to be analyzing for the data. The next one is the k-means clustering. Here we will using different attributes based to be processed our data. In this section we will using the k-means clustering. So here we will process our data to method on the clustering, but more algorithms are multiple techniques using to be clustering our data. Here we will using the k-means clustering is the one of the optimized clustering techniques. K-means. The next one is the external validity index. The internal and external clustering results to be specified. Next one is the set matching data. The data will be processing to be comparing to the existing and proposed data. For example, here we will comparing multiple data sets. Any data is to be matching to the previous data is to be analyzed. Next one is the classified data. Suppose the data will be processed or matching is to be analyzing which data is to be matched for the existing and the proposed data. The data comparisons will be analyzing for the classify. Next is the data will be viewed for the some particular users. Okay, now we will start a demo section for the set matching indexes for clustering the data. So first to be run the home page. Okay, this is our home. Okay, this is the home page for the set matching measures for external cluster validity. So click the home. Okay, this is the file selection process. Here file chooser using to be choosing particular records. So choose the data set. Okay, our data set is to be okay, so here we will using different particular database as the total data. So total data is to be process the data. So next, so here file chooser is choosing to be particular data. The data set will be loaded into the database. So next, so the next is pre-process data. Pre-process completed. Here no null values. I am always said with the data values any null to be removed, or the data is replace the null values. So again the different data sets using to be process the data. So again I choosing the file as the training set data. Next, load. The data sets are inserted into the database table. Next, so this the classifying the data. Here no value. So when I choosing to the cluster, the clusters or clustering results are classified. So now these are the some classifier. Here I am using default data sets based on our project. So here I am using different classifier records. So I am using SVM, support vector machine data to be processed. So clustering, so these are the some clustering data to be processed. So next go for training set. First record updated into successfully. So the when I click to the training set data, the data is to be successfully to stored in the database. So these are the some external measurements, existing measurements for data to be processed. So the training, the test data will be successfully processed. So testing, here these are the data to be processed. Again finally clustering, so the clustering data is to be stored on database. These are the clustering data. This is one of the data sets. These are the some classifiers for the data set as banana, German, hot, magic, monk. These are the some data values for to be clustering data. This is the testing data. Here also using classifiers as the C4, B and LR. The training also using values by the PA, recall, precision. These are the values will be changing. So next, here we will be analyzing the similarity for the different clustering data. So this is the testing set, this is the training set data. So these here we will comparing the two different data sets to be processing for the similarity, which is the data is to be similar for the existing and the next data to be analyzing. So here the existing data will be clusters. So this is the clustering values for PA, recall and rock areas. So this is the different attributes based will processing our data. So this is the comparison values. So here PA value is 74.21. The another data set value will be changing for 84.4. The recall value is 0.742. Here the recall value is 0.845. The data will be processed. So these are the some different attributes based process data. The another table is the PA and value. PA value is 0. Is values changing. So next we'll processing the data calculations. This is the classifier data, the PA, recall values. This is the precision values. This is the measurement of F values. This is the rock areas. These are the some classifiers data. Here I am using only support vector machine data. SVM data is to be processing for calculations the rock area and the PA and the recall precision values to be analyzing. The data is to be successfully stored in database. So next is the training data. Training with will choosing the MLP data, but here the MLP data with the PA value is 57.82, but the different data set with PA value is 64.9. So the attribute value is existing and the previous data calculations will be processed. So here we will clustering the different attributes based to process the data as classifiers and rock areas. The next one is the recall and PA values. The next one is the total dataset values will be processed. So next we will analyzing for the pair counting measurements for clustering data. So first we will analyzing the RBF data. Next we will analyzing the cluster similarity is matching for data sets. So here we will using two RBF data, 53.74 and 50.06. so these are two values will be processed. The next one is the clustering the data. So cluster similarity is matching for data sets. So this is the cluster similarity. This is matching for the previous or existing database records. So this is the some rock area and the values based clustering data to be processed, and this is the classifying the different data sets to be processed. Here this record of clustering data using we will analyzing the clustering records using different attributes based to be processing the clustering data, and finally user is easily accessing our data. Okay, the demo section is finished. Thanks for listening.